Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Comics. It's episode 26.
27,
I'm never right.
27. I think it's 27.
I'm living in the past. Episode 27, and I'm frozen. No, I'm not frozen. Just hellably delayed on the stream, which I should not be watching. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. And the tweets are out. Okay, cool. Yes, I completely forgot about it. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Come in and see us live now. All right.
Get your booties in here and watch.
It's not true. Anyway, I'm your host, Technique, for another episode of Comics, episode 27 here with the co-host, Matt, aka Nighthawk Plays. What's up, Matt? How's the holidays treating you, man?
Very festive right now with your shirt and my hat, but things are going well. Had a good Thanksgiving, stuffed my face, passed out from the turkey, and watched some Hawkeye, which I know we'll talk about here in a little bit, and you know, December came really quick, man. I can't believe it's, December 4th now. It's almost Christmas, almost the new year. It's been a wild year, but since we last chatted with Will and Steven, things are going well, man. It's just, as you know, it's a whirlwind.
Will and Charles.
Will and Charles, excuse me. Yes, Steven, I was thinking of someone else. My bad.
I know
Will and Charles. Yeah. So, but that was great. Great interview we had. If you didn't see a chat, obviously go back. It's on podcast and VOD format, YouTube, everything. But outside of that, man, just decided to have some fun today and the rest of the year, which is only a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fast year. I mean, 2021 came in and went out as fast as it came in. Wow, we're gonna be in 2022. This is nuts, man. I mean, I remember looking at 2018 and saying to myself, man, I cannot believe it's going to be 2020 in 2 years. And I mean, we're blown past that. And it's going to go even faster. It'll be March before we know it. We'll be knee deep into some MCU and everything going on with all the movies will just be pouring out. And plans and reveals and conventions are trying to come back. Unfortunately, in California, there's a new variant of the COVID virus. I mean, whoever thought people that don't wear masks would have a problem with this. But anyway, that's coming. So, hopefully they contain it faster and hopefully people get their booster shots and stuff because, I traveled recently. I was in Hollywood and I got tested before I got on the plane. It was good. Got on the plane. Everyone had to wear masks. They were very strict. If you pulled it down or whatever, they kicked you off the plane, man. They weren't playing. And then if you did it while the plane was in flight, you got fined. So nobody
Sounds about
did it.
right.
Yeah. And when we landed, I got tested. They have rapid tests now. You don't go to your brain and swab your brain anymore. They just kind of go around in your nose like 5 times each nostril, throw it in a machine. 30 minutes later, results come out. And it was pretty dope. And then, coming back, I had to do the same thing. It's a hassle to get tested, but I understand people just don't want to go through that. But when you think about that, you could potentially cause harm to those that you love and yourself. It starts to make sense.
When you
and if everyone does it, you won't have to worry about anything.
make everyone's life easier then in that sense. Just do it as you said. When you traveled, was it for pleasure or business?
It was business.
Can you talk about the business yet or
kind of
NDA redacted,
on one
redacted,
side of the
redacted.
business? I shot a new show that is on Twitch called Pog Picks, and it's a QVC type show for Twitch and Amazon. It was actually really fun. We were really blown away about how much the chat was into it. I mean, 38,000 people were watching it. It was really nice. And that's just 38,000 people that we could see. I mean, the other websites were watching it, and, it shows on multiple devices. It only counts on one way. But it was really, really fun. We had some really, really great times with that. And the other side of it is I made some moves, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And so hopefully those moves are fruitful by next year, and we'll see what happens. But I have to go back to LA for pleasure, quote unquote, because I'm going to see family in the next 3 weeks.
Holiday
the week
time,
of Christmas,
course.
I'll be gone. Yeah, I'll be gone in the week of Christmas, and I'll be back. And then I have to worry about taxes. Yay! And
Best time
after
of the
that, after January, we'll be looking pretty good again. I'm looking forward to see what 2022 has to bring, and hopefully, I'm gonna make that. I know people always say this is gonna be my year, but I'm gonna really, really work my butt off in 2022 to find a pigeonhole, so to speak, of what I want to accomplish and do. Right now, I'm just I'm like, I want to do this, and opportunity comes, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go this way and go this way. I'm gonna be like really focused on what I want to like make a lane for myself, and then like really push hard into that. So I'm not gonna be making those New Year resolutions or nothing like that. I'm just gonna be going
Go to the gym the
extremely
first week and that's
focused.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go focus down the path of what I'm gonna do and like focus on it and push forward to see some results.
Good, man.
That's always been my problem. I'm all over the place, dude. I'm squirrels.
Yeah, I mean, it shows. It shows that. I mean, but it's good though. Like I love that you're playing New World in the morning, and then in the afternoon you're playing Halo, and then you do something else, and you go to Twitch Gaming, and you're doing this. I like it. Obviously, I know there's different things to come with it from the streaming world, and you're not just talking about streaming. You're talking about a lot of different things. But
Yeah.
listen, man, that's good to hear. I know. We've had our conversations before, and I'm excited for whatever you got planned for and looking to do next year.
And man, got to push those dreams, man. You know.
Yeah.
I want to be on a silver screen, you know, and that's I gotta do it.
I want to be in the theater and point and go, I know him.
Yeah, it'd be dope, man. Even if I'm just like on screen for a minute, that's progress. That's what I gotta look at it as. But other than that, you know, we living out here. But we are I'm enjoying the news, man. The news coming out. There's tons of news. There's more news that we're going to cover. I mean, there's more news than we can cover today, honestly. There's a lot. I don't like really too much going into speculations or rumors too much, because those can always just switch up unless we go for a rumor segment, you know, and that's kind of different. But there's a lot of great things on the horizon, everybody. If you haven't been paying attention, MCU is back. You know, Hawkeye is back or Hawkeye is in, I should say. And it's good. It's really good. It had a slow ramp up, as I think is important. You know, we'll go into detail about Hawkeye a little bit later, but the slow ramp up is important. I think especially for a holiday special, with those in mind of who all is watching. You know, kids are not in school, so to speak. You know, and people are paying more attention to media or going out and traveling and stuff like that. And holidays are typically a healing progress more than, you know, something that's rushed. I think that's good. I think
if you compare it to how WandaVision, Loki, What If, I guess What If is kind of like the weird one because it's cartoony, but like whatever, it's that adult young mix right there. Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America and Winter Soldier. And am I missing one? I don't think so. And now this,
WandaVision, yeah.
Well, in WandaVision, like it's definitely the most family friendly to start off. I'd say for sure, and it makes sense. It came out on the 24th, Thanksgiving holiday. A lot of people have off, or they're gonna watch it with their family. You know, kids like superheroes. It's the Avenger. Let's play. Like I definitely get it, and it's cool. We'll talk about, like you said, a little bit later. It definitely has some reminiscence of some 80s and 90s movies themes, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, Winter in chat also said she enjoyed it, which is great too. So I have my thoughts. You have your thoughts. But yeah, this, like you said, news, information, stuff that's come out. I was just thinking about this. We're in December. We just got Cowboy Bebop. We just got Hawkeye. We just got Shang-Chi that just came out. Like, I feel like we didn't even have a chance to talk about any of this stuff. And then we got Witcher coming out now. Technically, we're already halfway through Hawkeye, right? We have Spider-Man coming out in 2 weeks. It's these past 4 to 5 weeks, let alone going on to the end of the year. It's been an absolute whirlwind.
Yeah,
man,
it has. There's a lot. I mean, we can give a brief overview of things. I mean, happy Thanksgiving for those that we weren't here till the end. I mean, we know. I mean, Thanksgiving is something that those holiday weekends. I mean, if we ran reruns, the plan was to run reruns. I mean, hope you enjoyed those. If you listened to the old podcast again or whatever, or missed out on anything, it's like a catch up day. We're gonna have those days where, you know, holidays is kind of something that, you know, you try to. I don't like to put a restraint or time constriction on family, so just thought it was better to you know, push the show as a recap show or something of that nature. But yeah, Shang-Chi, I'll give my brief thoughts on that movie. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a decent MCU film. I mean, it felt like a lot of missing parts were not. It felt it didn't feel complete to me. It felt like it was like in the middle of a series. You know, it kind of just felt there. It felt like the story had a lot more buildup than it should have had a lot more buildup. And I felt like they could have extended some more dramatics and definitely had more fight scenes in it. They could have really went hand with the fight scenes, and they just didn't, because it's Shang-Chi. The fighting for Shang-Chi is very important, because not only is it culture. They had such strong actors and actresses in it that didn't really get much. That was really weird to me. You're gonna bring on Michelle Yeoh, okay? Someone of that caliber, that large in both not only Eastern market but the Western market of films, and give her, I don't know, 20-minute screen time. What? Not even 20. It was really weird to me. I was like, how deep are we in this movie and where? So it was really weird to me. But I have a feeling this is a trilogy. We do know that they got three movies.
Yeah, he's signed
I
on.
think she's going to show up in the
yeah.
other ones. That's cool. But my goodness, it was really weird to me. And the comedy was there. I think the two main actors were great.
Yeah.
Or actress. It was great. I think their chemistry was good on screen. I love that girl's voice. I forgot her name.
Yeah, it's like that nerdy, but like it's got a little
raspy.
bit of everything. Yeah, she's
for what I liked her voice.
Like you go into it, you thinking she's gonna be the comic relief, which she was, but at the same time, she was a main character and she was great at it too. Like the way they created that role. Yeah,
she's a main character in Marvel.
Yes, too. Yes,
which is great because it's really lovely. I really like how Kevin Feige and his team kind of introduces. And not saying that he directed, I'm just saying his team, because he's over everything. The people that he brought on, and you could tell that it was written and shot by, Asian.
Oh yeah,
love, because that was completely a very much Asian drama-esque movie. That I was like, okay, I'm down with this. I understand what I'm getting myself into. It wasn't something that I had to guesstimate or say, oh God, this drama. There's a lot of games that I play. Let's just say this, like, JRPGs that are made in the West, trying to do Western style humor with an Eastern thought in mind. Eastern style humor with a Western thought in mind. It comes out disastrous, But this movie I knew what I was getting myself into right then and there. And she was a great support role that wasn't just a sidekick role. It felt like the movie was about both of them, which was interesting to me, because the advertisements she wasn't really a part of the advertisement. I mean, she was on the bus.
It was all Shang-Chi and it was all the Mandarin. Right. That's what it was. And the 10 rings.
Those two.
Yeah.
And the movie was more so about her and him and their relationship. And how he deals with family. And I forgot the girl's name. His sister. I forgot her name. But she was
awesome.
She's huge. I mean, if I had to say a favorite, she was my favorite because she's in other films doing the same stuff. She's still playing the same character. She's like a female. I hate saying that word because I know she's like if I say woman version, it sounds as weird. She's like a female version of what's the character?
You want to give me a movie or a show and I can try to help you?
Keanu Reeves. I'll just say Keanu Reeves. That's what she reminds me of.
Okay, I got it.
Because in every film she does, she's playing that secretive martial art assassin role. Like it's
okay.
Especially in her two newest films,
That's
the film with Samuel Jackson and I forgot, but being when he trains her to be like a top assassin or whatever like that. But it's the same. She's just playing the same character essentially. So I thought it was really good.
If you do it well. So I apologize. I'm probably gonna butcher these names. Obviously, Shang-Chi was Simu Liu.
Yeah, Simu Liu. Yeah.
Okay.
Liu.
So she's apparently a one-word name, Katie. It's Awkwafina.
Oh, Aquafina.
Yeah.
Aquafina.
Okay. And then obviously Tony Liu is massive East.
Oh, he's
his
a legend.
First Western movie, and that's the Mandarin. Absolutely amazing. And then the girl,
he did well.
The sister you're talking about is Menger Zhang, Zhang. It's not
Zahn is right. Megan
Zhang. Yeah.
But I just didn't want to. I knew a bit of their names. I just didn't want to.
I'm gonna butcher them. Yeah, I apologize.
That's okay. We're paying respect to them. They were awesome. The cast was incredible. I thought Mr. Legend himself. I was very impressed how he transitioned into like a Western style Eastern feel. He really did well to be his first film over here, and I think he adjusted so well that people are going to be hungering for him. Too bad, he met his fate. But anyway, it was great.
But yeah, so I after I watched the first two episodes of Hawkeye, I tweeted, I think Shang-Chi may be my favorite Marvel film, and Hawkeye is amazing. I stand by Hawkeye is amazing. I don't think it's... What happened?
Are we frozen on the screen?
No, we're good.
Oh, okay.
It could be you on your end, but
I think it's the connection
good.
to AirDrop has been weird. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah, because I have it up. Right. I don't see it. But anyway, it's I don't think Hawkeye is my favorite, but it's definitely very no. I don't think Hawkeye is my favorite show, but it is very good. As far as Shang-Chi goes, when I said I think it's one of my favorite, so in the moment
one of my favorite is different than my favorite.
Yeah, so I forgot what I wrote. I didn't say my favorite. I think it's one of my favorites.
No.
You
said
please
that's the only reason why I said something.
As we go through my Twitter.
That's the only reason why I was just like, huh? Excuse me?
I will say
you're gonna pass up all of them for that?
So I did talk about this a little bit afterwards. Okay, so Shang-Chi may be my favorite MCU film. Okay, may be my favorite. Still different.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I was just like...
Okay, so I am very in love with campy kung fu movies. This wasn't campy, but I really enjoyed the kung fu because when I was watching it, I saw Jackie Chan, I saw Jet Li, I saw Bruce Lee. I love those martial arts, even though some of them are a little bit fun, like Drunken Master and all that other stuff. The One.
I get you.
So I really enjoyed it. I did
you like the old wushu type film.
Yes. I do like the story. I do agree with you that, like a lot of Marvel introduction movies, certain parts were rushed past. I think there's a theme with Marvel movies and their initial, with the exception of maybe Iron Man, that things were rushed in their first film. But I look back, I think the only ones that I like more than this. Oh, and I love the lore that they put in. There's a lot of things people aren't talking about. Like, for one, we got Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. We did just have What If, but we literally just went, spoiler alert if you didn't see the film, so maybe give me 5 seconds here. You literally went to another universe in this film, in this movie. It wasn't like you went to a different dimension. Like, this is big, and I don't know how people are not talking about it because things have crossed over officially from another universe. Now, like it's crazy to think about that and how it's going to lead into Spider-Man, No Way Home, and of course Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. But going back to it, I still like Winter Soldier. I think that's quite possibly one of my favorite Marvel films. Taking away the Avengers team up, I would probably say I still like Winter Soldier a little bit more, and Ragnarok is a toss-up for me. Black Panther, I think it was rushed too. It's kind of tough for me with that one, but like I would definitely say those other two.
You think Black Panther was rushed?
No, I think certain parts of it were rushed. I get still hit by that CGI stuff with them at the bottom in the end fight. Right. That's what I get caught up on. But I could say the same thing with Shang-Chi. Yeah, it was hella CGI. It was the dragon, the little fluffy monsters or whatever. Yeah,
I get it though.
I get it
because that very colorful and like Dragon Ball Z-esque animated dragon thing. That's classic Chinese though. That's literally what they picture. Goddesses of dragons to be. Funny enough, to get back what you said about the universe, that universe has been brought up many a times though. It's just that people weren't paying attention to it.
That specific universe has been brought up before, but we never traveled to it.
Iron Fist.
Yeah, but that's not a movie. That was
Hawkeye episode just talked about it. Funny enough, episode 3 just talked about dragons being in a different universe.
Oh yeah,
that can cross over to ours. Like, these universes. Wait, this is what I always keep talking about.
But Iron Fist is an MCU. Iron Fist, the Netflix series Iron Fist with Kung Lao.
I'm not talking about that. They mentioned
I was
Iron
talking
Fist.
about MCU. Sorry.
Well, no, even MCU they mentioned Iron Fist before, and him having powers that cross over into a different universe. Like the whole essential power of Iron Fist itself
is a dragon.
Like that. That's just a manifestation of power that was given by a force.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how the protectors of the Guardians, that village, used magical powers that was given to them by a force via dragon from a different realm or whatever, however you want to so say it. The Mandarin's wife or Shang-Chi's mom or whatever.
Yeah.
And her peeps. But all that stuff is still viable in it. Yeah, the other universe is there.
Yeah. And to casual, that's actually the difference. So this was an actual different universe and dimension that they traveled to.
Not a universe. Wakanda is a place.
Yeah, it's just shrouded by their technology.
It's just shrouded by technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. And funny enough,
kind of like Atlantis too.
Funny enough, the ancient world that Shang-Chi's aunt and mom comes from, so to speak, their people had technology very similar to Wakanda. So it's interesting how these worlds, collide. So what we know now is that there were way more technologically advanced worlds or times of ancient beings. I mean, hell, when Doctor Strange and What If travels back in time, it's more technologically advanced than it is in the foreground. So it's a lot of that stuff that we're starting to see being introduced, and Star Wars. So there's that.
Exegol, yeah.
So these worlds are starting to come together and collide into one, and it's really, really cool seeing what Disney is doing. Trying to loop everything back. But that's really cool. A couple of things I didn't like about the movie. They again, the MCU trouble of taking a good villain and doing nothing with them consistently. They did it 3 times in Shang-Chi with 3 different people. Mandarin being one. Death. What's his name? The one that trained Shang-Chi. Death something.
Death Dealer?
Is it Death Dealer? I think it is Death Dealer. The one with the white mask.
Death Dealer. Yep, Death Dealer.
Yeah. Death Dealer is huge. Like they just pooped him off, and we don't even know what the hell happened to him. I think he got his soul ripped out of him, I think, or something like that. I don't even know anymore.
But I think it was at the end. It was the soul thing. I believe.
But I'm just like,
correctly, yeah.
Okay.
And they almost did it to Sword Fist guy, whatever his name was, the Blade. They almost did it to him too. So. Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been talking about with the MCU since our first episode, where you bring back the Mandarin after faking him with Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3, which he was another piece of comic relief in this film. And have an amazing story, promote the crap out of him, and I didn't like how he went. I didn't like how he went.
In Shang-Chi?
I didn't like how he went. Like, I would have loved to see it a different way, but I feel like you have this guy who is badass. He's lived for at least 1,000 years. Power of the Rings. This guy, you don't know what this man could do with them, and you saw just like a brief little.
He was doing shit that we ain't never heard of.
And then he's just like, no.
Also, no. I don't like how his son could freaking control him. Like, I understand he's a prodigy of the sun. Yeah. I just didn't like how fast it happened. I'm just like, there's stuff missing. You could have broke this up into 2 movies and I've been okay.
Yeah.
Like, just comment. It should have been a series. See, now we're going back to what should have been a show and what should have been a movie. Shang-Chi, they should have gave the love of a 6th episode, because I would have really much let them slow it down. It's the first Asian directed, produced, written movie in the MCU. Let it go. Let it have its love. You did Winter Soldier and Falcon some justice. Let them do that. Introduce them, then give them the trilogy. Or just give them 2 movies after that. I would have been fine with that.
Yeah, like they're talking about using the 10 Rings as a potential series for Disney Plus. I mean, it should have been the opposite way around. Do that, and then do a movie and then bring it back. I think we're definitely got into a point where, because of how well Disney Plus shows are for Marvel and Star Wars and everything else, we're in the world of, I'm good for half-hour to an hour shows for 6, and to give me all this detail and lore than a rush 2-hour film. Because I know you got a point. To your point, you think back after the fact, Michelle Yeoh was teaching him like the whole wind and movement. Obviously, that's how he figured out how to do the rings, but I would have loved to see them dive deeper into it.
Instead he learned it in 5 minutes. It took his mom a lifetime.
And he made it at the end with it. Come on, man.
And then on top of that, the 10 Rings ain't no little ass thing. the whole history behind the rings is so large, it would take, I don't know, 6-7 movies plus maybe even a series to tell you what the rings actually are. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the rings aren't rings.
No, they're not.
I mean, they're shaped like rings, but they are far beyond what anybody can even say, and it leads to another part of the I'll spoil it if I go any further.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think we are, because it's been
They
common
might be different
knowledge.
for the MCU.
I 100%
I'll talk
think
about the
we're
comic book
going,
version of the rings.
Yeah, this is the
The
comic
rings
book
are
version.
essentially batteries.
And they're actual, I was just about to put up the middle finger. They're actual rings.
Right. So they ended up, they used to power a ship, first of all.
Yes.
And then they've been converted into rings of power that are arguably stronger than Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
So, we might as well say, I think they are stronger than Infinity Stones because they have done some stuff. Those rings have been passed around, stolen, you name it. And the funny reason why he said, it's just like a key. It leads to some worlds and stuff that we are beyond anybody's imagination in MCU. And not even, what do they call themselves? The Guardians of Time or whatever the frick, time and space.
The What If?
Doctor Strange people.
Yeah.
Not
Guardians
even
of Space and
they
Time
don't
or
even know what
something
it
like that,
is. Like they can't crack it. They just don't know. It's beyond their knowledge. So it's like there's so much there. I wish they would have gave it the love of a series. Hawkeye could have been a movie. 100%. It could have been a movie. All that love and stuff that they put into it, they could have made that a movie easily. It could have been Die Hard. It really could have.
Lethal Weapon, Die Hard.
I would have taken that into a movie and enjoyed it for a holiday movie in December, and then brought Shang-Chi in as a series. That's what I would have done. But I'm not saying that the love and care wasn't there for Shang-Chi. It was a very good film. It didn't disappoint. It just, I wish it would have slowed down. I felt like Black Panther was established because we got to love Chadwick Boseman. We got to love the character Black Panther. We hungered for more.
Was it
then
two
they gave
movies
us
or
Wakanda.
one before? I know it was Civil War. He was in. Was
it
he in
Civil War?
No, and he was in Captain America: Winter Soldier. He was in. Wasn't he in? Wasn't he in Winter Soldier?
Just Civil War. No, just Civil War. Well, yeah, it was just Civil War. Yeah,
I feel like I guess it'd be just because he was so much in it. I thought he was in another film before
it was Civil
solo.
War.
Sorry.
It was definitely just Civil War. Yeah, because we got Black Panther's father died. He went out for revenge. And then we have Black Panther. Yeah, so we had this development already. We got a taste of what Wakanda could bring. Wakanda was mentioned a good bit. So it was like slowly building up to what we got. And I felt like Black Panther was, what's the word? I feel like it was steady. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I feel like it was consistent. I'll just say that. I feel like it was very consistent throughout the whole film. I felt like we got a strong beginning, middle, end. I did not like that Killmonger, what happened to him, but stuff. Anyway, Killmonger might be coming back. So whatever. So there's a lot there, and we have a lot established. Then we got him in Infinity Wars and Endgame, which is great. Shang-Chi was just like, here's all this shit. Enjoy it. And we were like, yay. And I felt like the writers and the producer and director was like, yo, this is the first time we got something this big. We better go all out because we don't know if it could be taken away from us. That's what I felt like it was given. And I was like, give it more love. And I don't blame the producers, writers, or the directors. I blame the backside of it. Like Disney should have been like, look, we understand how important this is, and representation is super important in our company. We want to give you the choice of doing a series or a movie. And then if they had the choice and they chose that one, then cool. But I think that's where they should have went because they're redoing Iron Fist.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be redoing everything. Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil to some extent. I mean, we don't know what's going to be exactly happening with all the Netflix properties, but those specific ones, and Punisher as well. Obviously, you have Deadpool, and then you're thinking about Fantastic Four and X-Men and all those other things, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I mean, it's Marvel is in an interesting state, right? Because there are going to be
growing pains
for yeah, exactly. There are going to be needs to just introduce a character through their own film, but then there's going to be different ways. Like think of Riri Williams. She's going to be introduced in Black Panther 2, and then she's getting the Armor Wars series. So it's
correctly. Thank you. And she getting her own series.
But like, you see, that makes sense to me because I don't consider her. I mean, she is a great character, but like, if I think of like tier S's or A's, I do think of Shang-Chi as one of them.
Really?
So maybe that's why they went with the movie.
Wow.
Like, this is going to be the conversation, I think, with every introduction of a character, whether it's in TV first, or film first, or like having a solo film first, or being part of a film. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do, because it is going to be very growing pain, right? But to go back to what you said about the 10 rings, I do want to say this. Okay, I got a question before I want to say it. Do you remember when they were talking about the rings, if Michelle Yeoh and those people, when they were talking about it, did those rings come from their world, or did they come from another world that she said?
It was a different world.
Okay, because
what the whole history is beyond the rings.
Beyond the rings.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, the rings had nothing to do with anything until he showed up and he wanted to open the door with the rings, because they're powerful enough. Like, that's why he was reached out by the demons. Let's just call them demons.
Yeah,
it was because they sensed the power that could possibly break that door, which still weren't powerful enough to fully break it. It just cracked it. You know?
Yeah,
so,
it did the little crack until he exploded out. Yeah. So this is, because there is a piece of the post credit scene, but I guess I'll wait to go into.
I know the post credit scene is. You talking about when they're analyzing it?
Yeah, because so
that's leading into what they are in the comic books.
So they are in the comic books. The original rendition is the rings are actually souls or of trapped of cosmic dragons. Like, this is like I was trying to think of what they were. I remember they power a ship.
Yeah,
for the
batteries,
McLuhans. Sorry.
Yeah,
the McLuhans. It's
race.
A race of
the dragon alien
race. Yeah, but the rings are actually trapped, long dead, legendary cosmic warriors, and that's where their powers are harnessed.
Right.
So if
but they're not the same
case,
universe as the dragons that they were talking about.
Yeah, because everyone is trying to say, like, how do you link this to the Celestials? How do you link it? Because, like, the Celestials in Eternals, because one of the characters in Eternals has something cylinder ring-like. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't think it's going to be dragons per se, but I do think it's going to be a bigger cosmic entity than Celestials, whether it's Galactus, whether it's something bigger. I don't know, but it's very
Celestials
interesting
and Cosmics come into play. I mean, they already started fiddling with Cosmics.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I mean, I think we might go maybe phase 7, 8. We might hit Cosmics or something. You know, I think, cosmic power is just so finicky because it doesn't die.
Yeah.
It just gets passed on. So it's kind of weird, you know, and going from Infinity Stones and all that stuff and trying to understand some kind of cosmic, you know, threat, and then going to another cosmic threat would be kind of weird, you know. So I think the multiverse is safe because the multiverse is like this big when it comes to cosmics, because there's wars going on that's way beyond anything that any of our people can handle, you know. So, and that's just a world that they visit in the comics when they feel like they run out of stuff for the main cast.
Yeah.
But anyway, going off of what you said about Shang-Chi, I don't think anybody thinks about Shang-Chi when they hear Marvel. I think everybody, unfortunately, thinks about Iron Fist before they think about Shang-Chi. Like, I hate that, because the marketing of Iron Fist was a lot bigger than Shang-Chi was. I mean, if you're an avid fan and then you know about like Avengers and like the different leagues of Avengers, then you know who Shang-Chi is. But he was always in the back at everything. He was in the back of the posters, the back of the art. Even when he led the damn Avengers, he was in the back. And I was like, what? You know, so it's kind of weird, you know, when that pops up. Riri Williams is bigger for a couple of reasons. Number one, Iron Man. Like, when you're attached to the big entity, you have automatic, you know, fame. I'll just so say. It's like Miss Marvel. No, nobody thinks of her. When people say Miss Marvel, they think about Captain Marvel in the black and lightning bolts, you know, outfit. They don't think about the little Miss Marvel. Now you have her there, and everybody's like, yeah, of course, because she's like attached to Captain Marvel and the Marvels in general. And it's like, all right, we have this package wrap. So I think Shang-Chi needed the introduction, especially to the ignorant. I don't mean that in a negative way. People that are just ignorant to comics in general, and they're just now jumping in and learning about it. An introduction that was slower and fed and meals and courses would have given Shang-Chi that that I think they need, you know. But they'll get it eventually.
That's actually great, Ryan. I do agree with you. I was introduced to Iron Fist through the Spider-Man cartoons and comics as well because of his old group of friends, right? So that's actually a very good point there too.
He was very much pushed in people, and you know, and I hate to say it, it's because Iron Fist went through many dramatic changes. You know, Asian and not Asian. You know, the white man with the blonde hair versus like, you know, so it's like, all right, I can see that marketing. Peter Parker, what is Peter Parker in the beginning? White dude with blonde hair, you know, so I can see, and then he turned brunette, you know, and so I can see that marketing being nicely packaged. Shang-Chi always been Chinese, you know, so it's just like, all right.
Yeah.
Which I can see what the market was, especially back then when, you know, the market wasn't made for anything outside of Caucasian. So,
so that's actually a great question for you, chat. These next characters that are going to be coming out in Marvel, you know, what would you like to see? Would you like to see more of them introduced in their own solo films, kind of like what they did with Shang-Chi? Do you want to see them kind of like what they're doing with Riri Williams going into Black Panther 2 and then getting her own series? What are your thoughts on it? But you actually brought up something interesting for a great segue. Spider-Man.
Yeah,
There's
man.
been a lot of news. Spider-Man.
You know what? They're using that dollar bill really well. Spider-Man's the biggest, most notable character in comic book history. I mean, everybody knows Spider-Man. There's a Spider-Man version in almost every country as well. Like the word Spider-Man can't go undanged. You know, it's just like he's there. I just happen to be my favorite character just because we related, you know, at some point. Spider-Man No Way Home coming out this month. I bought tickets. I know I said I was against it, but I had to for the better of the show and better of my mental stability, because the internet is not going to let that movie not go unspoiled.
Oh yeah,
it's just not.
Especially
they've been trying to crack that movie for a whole year now, and I gotta go see it. So Friday morning, early in the morning, me and the wife are going to go see Spider-Man, and I know you're going to go see it as well.
Especially with it opening 2 days prior in the UK. So it comes out Thursday night. I don't know if that means Tuesday night or Wednesday night for us, but yeah, it's and review embargoes are on the 13th. So it's like, oh God. I'm shutting off the internet at that point. I'm sorry.
I'm done. I'm going to log on to social media to type up like I'm live and cutting it off. It looks great. Tom Holland said this is one of the darkest films he's ever done.
Yeah.
And that he did not like, he argued against the script in some point. So I was like, oh God. Yeah, if Zendaya, I swear, if she died, I'm just done. I'm so sick and tired of the girlfriend falling, you know, blah, blah, blah thing.
John Watts, the director, Amy Pascal, the executive producer, Kevin Feige, the executive producer, Tom Holland himself, they've all been calling this Spider-Man Endgame internally, and they started bringing it out to the public too. So the trailers itself obviously got you leaning one way. I mean, obviously Marvel is, we've talked about this before as well. Marvel is very trailer cut
and trolly.
Yeah, trailer cut trolly.
Bait and
so
switch.
Who knows what it's going to look like when it actually comes out. But I mean, as of right now, I am with you. I'm going to see it Thursday morning at 10:40. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the comics and talking about it shortly or Saturdays.
That's something that we cannot. I think people will hate us forever if we just bust out day of and be like, yeah, you know what? Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in the film. You know?
How do we talk about it without spoiling? That's the hard thing for me.
Yeah, we can be like,
reviews. You can give reviews, but how do you do it without spoiling it? That's gonna be a rough one.
We'll figure it out when the time comes. If the movie's worth it. I mean, it may not be.
That's true.
I'm just saying. Andrew Garfield, I said Todd McFarlane. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I believe they're in the film. I was holding off from it for so long, but when I saw that trolley ass trailer, I was like, oh yeah, 100%. It was 100% in the film. And Lizard getting punched by air, that's bullshit. Anyway, so
there's no shot that's someone's not punching him right there.
There's so many like reactions from Tom. Let me tell you, Tom Holland is like, that boy is so innocent. He is so innocent. He can't, like, the dude is just like,
about that.
It's funny. I saw an interview of This is not spoilers, by the way, of Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jake, and I want to say there's other people there too, and they were like, "Yeah, how did you feel about Endgame and the funeral and everything?" He was like, "Funeral?" He said, "They told me I was showing up to a wedding." So I was like, "Where's Robert?" Zaya was like, she said, "They what?" And she just started busting out laughing because no one told him it was an actual funeral. He thought it was a wedding.
Because you can leave that. Yep.
Dude, but I would believe it too if they told me, because I'm like, oh, Pepper and them will get married. They're gonna be in a wedding.
That's hilarious. That is actually great.
They just owned his ass, man. I feel so bad, but we think it's a joke that Tom slips. No, he really slips.
Oh yeah.
Like he actually slipped up about the movie, and he caught himself, and he could not recover.
Yeah.
And they had to rely on Andrew and everybody else to anyway, it was really funny and hilarious.
Yeah.
Spoiler Man should be his name, right?
Spoiler Man. I mean, it's since the beginning of when they started pushing this film out there this year, whether it was Jamie Foxx, Alfred Molina talking publicly about it, like everyone's been speculating how if they were going to bring these in, even the photos that were leaked and the videos were doctored and everything.
Photoshop
I mean,
stuff, yeah.
we talked a couple of weeks ago. They're like, yeah, they're not going to be in it, and now it's to the point. It was like, yeah, if they're not in it, I'd be very, very surprised.
The last trailer saw
obviously the Brazilian cut, yeah,
because they're doing shots from the actual other Spider-Man movies in it. I'm just like, fuck. Well, you know what? At first I was angry because I was like, you know what? This is not fair. But then I was just like, this is not fair because it's not going to be done right, I feel. Like, it's not going to be a Spider-Man movie. Like, they should just do one at this point.
Like Spider-Verse. Like what they did with the cartoon, Miles Morales and everything.
At the end of that trailer, there's purple shit flying around, which makes you think of Spider-Verse. It's literally the same effects.
That's what I wanted to say. Further to that, it's actually the same effect. Did we talk about this? If you go and watch What If, especially when Infinity Stone Ultron goes up against the Watcher, when they start breaking through realities, it's purple glass shattering, and that's what it looks like in this as well too. So stuff is gonna come through, or it could be Madam Web pops her head through. Hello.
Or maybe people awesome. Maybe they like purple.
Maybe they just like purple. But yeah, like we don't know. They're leaning into it now. Like Tom Holland to announce the trailer.
Here's my thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Sony plays ball with MCU,
which it seems like they are,
we are going to get Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse, not the Miles Morales in the MCU. So because he'll be older. I think they're going to live action the Miles Morales from Spider-Verse. That's what I feel.
I mean, they have been saying from the What If series, you're going to see people from there move over. So if that's the case, that makes sense.
Because look it doesn't make sense time-wise unless they age Tom Holland. Like, unless the next 3 films, which we're getting in. So pretty much what we're going to say is that Tom Holland is, you got contracted again. He broke the Spider-Man curse. Congratulations, Tom. You deserve it. I think you're the best Spider-Man.
Pay this kid.
He broke the curse.
Not even
the
a kid
curse
anymore.
is 3 films and you're out as Spider-Man. Hell, Andrew didn't even make it to that.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see that he is honed. He is loved. That especially overseas.
Oh yeah. Well,
let me tell you, his fans
UK,
are
right?
ravenous.
He's British. He's England. Yeah, I don't know if he's British or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like, but he is so loved, and he is just a kid in a candy shop because this is a theater boy, you know, who made it big before he even realized it. So I don't think to him saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna play Spider-Man," I don't think that's like something he really put his head, you know, into scale with, because playing Spider-Man is monumental. So I think it wouldn't be as good as it is today if it wasn't for the past iterations, because people were getting tired of like seeing what was happening with people. There's people that are straight up stands of Toby. There's people that are straight up stands of Andrew. But Tom Holland, everyone agrees that he's the best. Even, I don't know about Toby, but even Andrew thinks that Tom is the best. So it's a good little thing to see this all happen. And it's also great that he's in a relationship with Zendaya, because it'll make it even more organic.
Yeah.
You know, the acting between those two, because they're fabulous. Zendaya is beyond her years actress. Like, that girl can play many roles really, really well. But anyway, so yeah, congratulations on that. He moved past the curse, and we'll see him in 3 more. So in the series, unless they age him up, so the break between this trilogy and the next, unless they wait, I don't know, 3 years in between or something like that to be up before they bring out another Spider-Man, which is possible.
I mean, 2021, 2022, it's going to be at least 23 or 24 before the next Spider-Man movie comes out. I think 24 will see another
Spider-Man, for sure.
Yeah.
But Tom doesn't age well. He's very young faced.
Yeah, he looks like he's got good genes.
Yeah, which is great. He is putting on a little bit more weight and stuff to try to like push that age up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get the Miles Morales we're hoping for, because the Miles Morales we're hoping for is a baby, an infant, in the MCU right now.
Well, what was he age wise when he went to when he was going to school at the beginning of the Spider-Verse? Was that junior, freshman? He was like 10th grade. He wasn't a freshman. He wasn't a senior. I know that.
I think he's a sophomore.
Okay, so so technically
he was a sophomore and he was a junior in Far From Home. And I don't know what I think he's still a junior in No Way From Home, because
no. I'm talking about Miles Morales.
Oh, Miles Morales is a baby.
No, but he was in high school in the Spider-Verse film. When he
meant Spider-Verse. Yeah, I thought you meant the MCU.
So I'm talking about Miles Morales.
Oh, Spider-Verse, he's he was I think he's a freshman. He might have been a freshman. Yes, I think he's a freshman, because he was I believe he was going to a new school. Yeah, he was going to the school proper, other than because he wanted to go to the school that he's used to. He wanted to be with the people that he's used to going, but he got a grant to go to a more prestigious school.
Oh, he was 14 years old, actually. Holy crap.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
All right, so this kind of puts a little bit of a
genius,
wrinkle.
but they stuck with the comic book with that one, because he was supposed to go. He wanted to go to this normal public school, but he got a grant because they were putting a lottery, and he won to go to a more prestigious school, and that's where he is now. He's trying to adjust to that. Yeah,
because the reason why I was thinking about this, how you're talking about Miles coming through potentially at the end and leading into other things. It makes more sense. It makes more sense because timeline wise, so they're roughly about, if you take that Spider-Verse into the Spider-Verse version of Miles compared to Tom Holland's
about 2 or 3 years younger than Tom.
Yes. So he is about 2 or 3 younger, because it's 14 versus 17, 18, depending on how old he is. But we do know that, and now it makes sense, before the next trilogy of Spider-Man movies headed by Tom Holland, there is going to be an animated Disney Plus series freshman year, which is Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and it's supposed to be freshman year from college. So assuming the movie comes out, he's either going to be at the end of this freshman year, or just forward. But how does that then tie in with that Miles Morales coming through? Because it is still considerably younger then.
Yeah, it has to be, because the MCU is still a baby, and even if we add years to him, he's going to be like, what, 5 years old, 6 years old? The original Miles Morales didn't even get spider powers till he was 9 years old, like the original from the Ultimate Universe, which was wiped out. Which is the same Miles Morales. There's only one Miles Morales. Well, originally there's only one Miles Morales.
Yeah,
I'll just say that. And the 9-year-old one ended up being in Prime Earth. So, and he grew up to be 18, which he is now 18, 19 years old right now in the comic book world. But he'll be like 5 years old at the most, and there's no way. Like even when Tom is in college, there's no way.
Yeah.
So it would have to be Spider-Verse Miles Morales, unless it's a Miles Morales from a different multiverse, which can happen, which is the safe route and the boring one, because then we're just going to get a Miles that shows up and he's going to help Peter Parker for a bit and probably float away. I don't know. But I am very, very, very much secured with what Amy would do, because I think she knows the gravity of Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Peter Parker is famous, but Miles right now, explosively famous. Like, you screw that character up, you're gonna have problems. It's kind of like screwing up Black Panther. You have problems. So I think they're gonna do it right. I think they're gonna have Afro-Latino or Latina like directors and producers and writers to really, push the narrative of that and not treat it as a sidekick, show-in. So
Well,
I think that's what they'll do.
You know what will be interesting? I was looking up something. So Miles was introduced in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse at 14 years old. And currently right now, Spider-Man in Tom Holland's Spider-Man is about 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fast forward and so technically Tom Holland's Spider-Man got his powers around 15, 16. So a little bit older. So it's kind of like, because they're getting their powers roughly at the same age, and where he is and where he's coming from going through high school, his powers, like him being a teacher to a Miles Morales makes so much sense because of the timeline, age different and age gap wise from starting to where they are. Yeah. So when he's in freshman year and he's going through all this stuff, or sorry, freshman or sophomore year in college, and Miles is now going to junior, senior year, Spider-Man can tell him everything. Tom can tell Miles everything that he did.
And not only that, he can pass the torch if he needs to and go do whatever he has to do.
And he went through crazy stuff, obviously, with Avengers at that point, with now this going on with No Way Home. Like, it's actually a perfect
Spider-Man isn't mature yet.
Yeah.
He's not Peter Parker.
Yeah,
he's not
Peter Parker.
He's just a fresh Spider-Man. And he just learned about who Peter Parker really is in Far From Home. You know, that was a testament to the life of Peter Parker and how crazy it could be. He went from, okay, I'm starting to adjust, to, oh my God, my world is exploding. And like in the next film. So it's just like, okay, he didn't really have any time to be Spider-Man at all.
Yeah.
You know, every instance has been like emergency thoughts, reactions, no time to think. You know, he hasn't established being a scientist like he is in everything. You know, he hasn't established of owning Stark Industry, a part of Stark Industries. He has not been there yet. Like the moment they said that, you know, Mr. Stark signed all this stuff over to you. Really? It got it stolen. Like,
yeah, right.
So he really hasn't explored any of that yet.
Because you know
he will be exploring it in the next film, because he had 3 different suits. And the end one being the Secret War suit, which is wow. Okay, it was like an iteration of the Secret War suit. Have you not seen that?
Spider-Man Secret Wars suit. So the suit is supposed to be, I forget what they call it in the film, but it's
invasion suit.
It's they call it something, because it's like a mix of the nanotechnology from Iron Spider and his normal suit. I forget, they have a specific name for it. I just can't think of it in the film.
The runes on it.
No. So the black one with the runes isn't in this film.
Yeah, there's a shot at the end where he has actually has the Doctor Strange powers in it.
So I believe we know what that is. So it's apparently his suit just flipped inside out, and he tapes a camera to it to show his friends what's going on, and Doctor Strange gives him some powers. From what people have been saying.
But the markings is a suit that's already established, though. That's the thing. Let me see something real quick. Maybe not Secret. Is it Secret Invasion?
Yeah, because I'm seeing blue with Secret Wars.
Yeah, I think it's Secret Invasion suit. Let's see. I've seen that suit before many a times.
Why does Spider-Man have a new black suit in No Way Home? Forgotten Spider-Man Homecoming details. Confirmed series about black suit. I've
seen that suit before. I'm just trying to picture where it was. Here it is. What suit is this? Oh my God. I know it's the black and gold suit.
Oh, so okay, so it's called the integrated suit.
Yeah, there's a black and gold suit that is in the comics. Doctor Strange and him come up with a suit, or because it was for this battle. I forgot which one it was. I don't know if it's Secret Invasion, Secret Wars. I don't know which one it is, but it's a really big battle, and he was able to. He had runes on it. I know it was enchanted. I just can't remember the name of the damn suit, but I see it here on. They had it in the game. It's black and gold. I can tell you that. I'll just leave it at that. It's a black and gold suit. And he definitely has it in the movie because it's right. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yep.
I guess because I mean, obviously I've looked at stuff, trying not to look at spoilers and everything. I kind of dove a little bit deeper
Here,
than
I'll
some of
give
the
you a
things I've
picture
wanted to.
of the suit.
So like,
It's not the suit, but it's the suit from the game.
okay,
Uh,
yeah, because I mean, even some people were saying it was from
There you go.
it was from No Way Home, the black suit from No Way Home, just with a couple of upgrades to it. Oh yeah, look at
So
that.
so that suit,
The black one, the black one.
black and gold, right,
Yeah.
is yeah,
Yeah,
is in the movie.
Yeah, because the one on
But
the
that's
right.
here, I'll give you an even better picture.
Yeah, so
Because
the one,
that's
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
I'm
go
listening.
ahead, go ahead.
There you go. There's a better picture of it. So the one in the background is the suit that he's gonna wear.
Interesting. Well, I know you're not seeing what we're seeing, chat, but yeah, we're talking about the black suit. There's been theories that it's just his suit inside out. It could be from the No Way Home one, where he was kind of like stealth spider or whatever it was. He was called the monkey or something like that, whatever he was calling himself in France. But there obviously looks like there's more tech, and obviously you saw the Doctor Strange powers and in the trailer. So, but the other suit, and this is going back to what you were saying with technology, the one that we see at the trailer at the end where he's swinging away from the 3 of this potential Sinister Six and trying to grab MJ is what do you call it? It's called the integrated suit. So it's supposed to have the technology of Iron Spider, but also have the Stark technology or his regular suit technology. So in Homecoming, he was already kind of there and had powers, and he already had web shooters and all that stuff. Tony gave him stuff. You know, you didn't really do anything. I think we are going to get a little bit of the technology here, part of it, like seeing how smart he is. But I do agree, it's probably going to be the next trilogy.
Well, this film is supposed to be one of the longest MCU films ever.
2.5 hours, 150 minutes.
Which is the same as Endgame.
Wasn't Endgame 3
was
hours?
Like 240.
It was closer to 3 hours, yeah.
Or 256 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. But I hope they do spend time showing that Peter is not some dumbass. Because right now we're getting the playful Peter, like, oh no, reactions.
Yeah,
he's very intelligent. Like, and we haven't really seen the intelligence yet. We've seen him mess with stuff, and they teased it in Homecoming. No Way Home really didn't have it. You know, it was more of him inheriting stuff, and he was kind of like, you know, just kind of reacting again. This one, I feel like is going to be more of a reaction. I hope they break him. And see, this is where I'm hoping that the whole weight of everything breaks him to the point where he just starts to like angrily go off into the Stark Industries, maybe even find a hologram or something with Tony's essence in it, because that'll lead to Riri Williams. Please do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And his Jarvis is Robert Downey Jr. Like, I really hope that they really, really do something with that, because it's the truth.
Yeah, it is.
It will help bridge gaps everywhere. Riri Williams having Jarvis is not Robert Downey Jr., but is Tony Stark 100%. So this would make so much sense. And then they could even have it where Peter's just like, I don't want it. I don't want this. This is too much. And then Riri Williams, she gets it. You know, so I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. Well, no, they already established that Riri Williams is going to get most of her technology from Wakanda, but okay.
Yes. But her inspiration,
you know, I hope,
is still
because the passing of the torch
Stark.
would be too much again, because they already passed it to Tom. That's, you know,
Yeah.
or Peter. I understand where that's going. Then Peter needs, like, I just need that gap. I need that time period. And if they do it to where they're like, okay, we're gonna do it in a series, this is where we're gonna make all this stuff make sense. I just think something on this scale, this monumental, they made building up so much where the multiverse is crashing in on Peter Parker, and he doesn't know what the hell. He hasn't even learned how to be Peter Parker, let alone Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yet. He doesn't have his mentors. He doesn't have anybody to talk to. His whole world is about to change. He made the biggest mistake in the trailers, you know, of making he wants to change something that should never be changed. That's when you bring in Madam Web.
Yeah.
And Madam Web says you can't toy with fate.
Yeah.
You know? And then you bring in the threads of fate and that whole thing, and then he can meet everything else, and then Miles Morales can be way later, and then we see a Peter Parker mature down the line in the next 3 films. Good with that. Like, hopefully they can connect the dots. You know, they
so.
said that there is definitely a Madam Web in the future, 100%.
They said that?
This is a great time for her to come in at the end, post credits. We don't need her any time before that.
They said that Madam Web is coming back. Someone said that.
Just a series.
No shit.
Just a series.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
I mean, this is what they said. That was in one of the phases. We don't know what phases is going to be, but they said Madam Web is definitely, they want to do something with her. Let me see if I can find actual posts. But yeah, Madam Web is supposed to be in the MCU.
I mean, if they do that, I mean, you're talking about some insane stuff.
We're talking about a lot of shit. Yeah, see how Madam Web movie could lead into the MCU. They mentioned it many a times. If it happens, or maybe it was Sony that wanted to do Madam Web. But anyway, if it happens, it'll be so good. Because then we can have the inheritors, we can have the like stuff done correctly, and we could really throw Peter Parker in the Spider-Man in some shit. Like that's when you introduce Miles Morales before all that stuff happened. You introduce Peter Parker. Hell, you could. I mean, Gwen. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna do a Gwen Stacy spinoff. At some, it might be only animated, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have something with that. You can't have a multiverse without. What does she call herself? The Ghost Spider nowadays? I don't know. Call her many different things, but I mean, she is a big reason why the multiverse is crapped up because she's a selfish person who's trying to like get Peter Parker back. It's so good.
So here's what we've been talking about and led to what Frank was just talking about, Madam Web. So, or part of it. So on the 29th, which was no, that's December. On the 29th, which was Monday, Fandango had an exclusive interview with Amy Pascal, one of the executive producers in Marvel and Sony for the films. And Eric Fandango asked, asked Amy, as you wrap up this trilogy of films, speaking of the Spider-Man trilogy, in collaboration with Marvel Studios, apparently Amy cuts him off and she says, "Can I say something about that?" Fandango, "Sure." This is Amy's exact quote. "This is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We're getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It just isn't part of. We're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going on to the next 3 films. This is not the last of our MCU movies." Fandango, Eric, "It's great to know that this collaboration is going to continue." Amy, "Yes, Marvel and Sony are going to keep going together as partners. That doesn't mean just Spider-Man films with Tom Holland. This is talking about potentially a Madam Web-esque type figure crossing over to the MCU. Venom crossing over, Morbius, like the things that we already know out there,
I don't want to say
crossing
crossover,
over
and
reinvented and being brought into the world of the MCU, which is awesome.
So counter, it's such a great counter to the shit that they have going on right now. Because here's the deal, this is classic Sony. And I laughed because I was like, Sony ruined Spider-Man twice. Gave it to the MCU and made a shit ton of money. So what are they doing with Venom? Ruining it twice. Send it to the MCU to make a shit ton of money. It just makes sense.
I would bet that at some point, whenever they do this crossover, whether it is Tom Hardy, God, there's so many times, or Venom, he's not going to be Venom in the future. Something is going to happen with the crossover. The symbiote, because symbiotes live in different universes and they're connected by a hive mind that's why he kind of notices who Spider-Man is, Venom, at the end of Venom. Anyway, post-credit scene, smile. I think the symbiote is going to stay there and it's going to find the new host and be Agent Venom or a different version of Venom in that universe.
Believe they're doing a black suit Spider-Man with Tom Holland.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no way they're not going to do it. Like that's the suit that everybody wants to see. And it was never done right.
Oh,
ever
no.
in live action. So I'm 100% believe that the symbiote Venom, not what you see today, is going to find Tom Holland and lead him down a whole road of shit. And it's probably going to be the classic way of doing it.
I hope it is,
where Tom Holland finds a way to get rid of it, and we actually see, Agent Venom or whatever crossover, or maybe even anti-Venom. I mean, let me know. So there's a lot that they can do there, but I think that would be film 3 of the new trilogy, because that's a way that you sink things into people to bring them back. You don't introduce that suit in the beginning of the trilogy. You don't introduce it in the middle. That's an end. Here's our end of our contract. Do people want more live action Spider-Man? He gets the black suit. Everybody's like, fuck yeah, and then they just. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with this. Need I remind you? Not even a year ago that we were fighting to see if Tom Holland was going to even be Spider-Man anymore.
That is true. If
Sony was going to play ball with MCU, Sony made so much freaking money. I bet they're just like, you want to go out on another date? It's exciting though. This is exciting because now I think Sony is starting to see the love that people have for the MCU in general. And I believe that going to TV series made MCU way bigger than what Sony could ever imagine being. And we're just like, you know what? What's better? Having our Sony verse of Spider-Man and nobody giving a crap about it or shitting on it, ruining the name, or coming together in the middle and letting MCU do what they do best for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, so
God, 20 years.
I think this is good. I think this is great.
Yeah, and you know, when Andromeda Deluxe says the sales speak for themselves, I want to also put this out there. We've talked about films being back too. You know, right now this is on track domestically to bring in on opening weekend 190 to 250 million. There's a big delta there. I don't know why it's so big, but if it does hit the minimum of the 190 million mark, that will bring us into officially the top 10s of all time opening weekends. That means it made more than Civil War, Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I mean, literally the only movies above it would be Age of Ultron, Lion King, Black Panther, Avengers, Jurassic World, Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Infinity War, and then the number 1 is Endgame. So, which is funny, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I say Black Panther? 6, 7, 7. And if Spider-Man makes it, 8 of the top 10 films are Disney.
MCU.
Wait, actually, The Lion King is Disney too.
Yeah, it's
that's
Disney,
9 of the 10. Wait, was Jurassic World Disney or was it Warner Brothers?
No. That's definitely Warner Brothers.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude. People don't understand, bro. Like, when I say that comic book movies are the only movies, or like Disney MCU movies are really the only movies right now that people would ever leave the house for, it's the truth. It's not because I'm a big fanboy. It's just that's what sells right now. And Spider-Man is the one that makes people leave the house. I mean, fuck, I'm leaving the house for it.
I mean, me too.
You know, it's even, and then it's gonna make even more money on Disney Plus. So, what I would do if I were them, especially with Spider-Man, I would test something. I would release it in theaters. 2 weeks later, I would put it on Premium on Disney Plus, where you have to pay even more, like $30 to watch it. And then I would release it on Disney Plus, because they would make money like easy on those three occasions. That's what I would do. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, as far as Disney Plus goes, we're not going to be getting Eternals, I think, until January, not even in December, from what everyone's saying. They're extending the 45-day because it's making good money in the theaters. So what is that going to mean to Spider-Man? I don't know. I feel like something like this for the holidays, I would love to see it, even if it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or hey, Happy New Year, here you go. Doing something like that and make even more money. But I think because of just how the opening weekend looks, I mean, you're talking about $1 billion global box office for Enron on this. I don't think they're going to do it.
Spider-Man come back in the theater too. It's going to be one of those.
Hey, the world is hopefully better. Here you go.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be like, it's gonna be better the second time. IMAX fucking $1,000 seat video, you know. So that's probably what they're gonna do. They're gonna throw it on like the biggest screens possible in the world. Then I mean, that's just domestic. Wait till we see global sales. When people don't care about the pandemic.
Oh my god,
it's gonna be even crazier.
That's gonna be. I mean, insane.
Dubai alone goes nuts for Spider-Man. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really fun. Anyway, we can talk Spider-Man all day. You know me. That's my boy. But anyway, let's move on to something that is shelling out the holidays, and that is Hawkeye.
Yes.
Slow ramp up. Very, very slow ramp up, but I think it's a slow ramp up that was intended. I don't think Hawkeye was intended to be in your face action immediately. Though I really, really thought it was still a fast ramp up for Haley Steinfeld, because she's not foreign to action films. I mean, she did really well, and I think she did great in Bumblebee.
Yeah.
You know, she's used to doing a lot. And the reason why I said she did great in Bumblebee, because there when it comes to acting, it's a difference in doing action sequences with people that you can see talking tangible objects. It's a whole nother ball game when it's nothing but green screen and blocks in front of you that you have to act that is real and moving in front of you. And this film that we're watching, a lot of it, even the outside New York where they're walking is green screen, by the way. It's just recorded green screen. I could tell very much. And it's not because, you know, it looks bad. It's just because, one, I've worked in circumstances like that before, and two, I've seen the making. You know, I've seen pictures of what they were doing, and I was like, that makes so much sense, you know. But very high production value on this movie. Production is out through the roof. They blew up so many cars. You know, they did a lot of CG. There's a lot of action sequences, but in the beginning, I love what they did. I think the slowness is intended and needed. It's the slowness that we need. The reason why people are complaining that it felt slower is because Marvel throws shit in your face day one, you know? And I mean, Captain Falcon Winter Soldier, holy shit. Falcon was dealing with like in flight, jumping through helicopters and blowing shit up. Day one of this was like, we find out who Katie Bishop is and how rich her family is and how the New York invasion actually played a role in her being practically love at first sight when it comes to Clint and all that good stuff. Yes, they were a love interest at one point in the comic books. But they did it as an innocent child loving a mentor, which is great. I love how they're doing it now. We needed that buildup of who the character was and what she went through. And I love that they told the story through credits in the beginning. Opening credits
that was
her
so
story.
Cool. Yeah, that was perfect,
because
man.
That's how you fill in gaps that you don't want to tell. Because they could have spent a whole episode on that, you know? But they just told it in the credits. I was just like, yes, bitch, who did that? That's nice. Couple of things before I run my mouth too much. Haley is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Here's the reasons why. She's a seasoned actress who is only seasoned because of the big roles she has gotten recently. She's not that big of an actress when it comes to like a global scale, but she's been getting a lot of projects that are very fan driven. And what is Marvel? Fan driven. So she knows how to handle her audience. She goes on Instagram, she talks to them, she gives them like little trolly ass like giggles and cute like shyness things about the movie. She's playing her audience in the scene of excitement, not trying to put up in a facade or an illusion. This girl is extremely excited to be in the MCU. She's extremely excited about what her show's doing well. She just finished her big series, The Dickinsons or whatever that thing is called, and people love her and love it, and it ended really well, I heard. And now with the MCU, she is a girl in heaven. She's just enjoying herself around vets who are enjoying her. And that relationship is really well. And you can tell Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld is just really great chemistry on screen.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful. We'll start with episode 1. What'd you think?
You know, for those of you who don't know, obviously Disney Plus came out on the 24th. Hawkeye, the first 2 episodes dropped. We're on episode 3. The first episode I enjoyed it because it really set up the story for her and why she's doing what she's doing. Her relationship with who her father was, why she wanted to get into archery, which I thought was kind of cool, and how they brought it back to 12 years prior, the fight of New York, right? How her mother is and how she really as a character is like a Peter Parker. She's young, she's smart, she can kick some ass without any powers, but at the same time, I don't know how old she is, but she's
22.
I thought she was a teenager in the show. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, because she has a
says
job.
Her age.
She's not going to school.
He calls her 9.
Yeah, she doesn't know I'm like 22. Yeah. But she's like that. I still like think of Peter Parker like as a
no. Still
immature. She's that innocent, immature, always got to say something, think I can do everything type of character until she gets into deep poop. And I like how that coincides with this. I love how they're using the what do they call them? The
I don't know what that is, man. I wouldn't do that on screen.
The jumpsuit gang. What do they call them? The jumpsuiter gang. Like it's
the jumpsuit syndicate or the jumpsuit.
Yeah, like I love how they're using them for it. And when they get in and she knows, okay, I'm definitely in deeper water, then Jeremy, Hawkeye.
Tracksuit gang. That's it. Tracksuit gang.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm saying jumpsuit.
So hilarious.
Tracksuit guys. I mean, like it's
that's very Marvel too.
Oh,
very
absolutely.
Marvel comic.
Yeah, it is. And for as far as the first episode goes, especially with that crawl, like you said at the beginning, not a crawl, but the introduction, it really set the tone. It was very Lethal Weapon, Die Hard. Like it was very much those 80s type of like buddy action comic
Matt,
movies.
Why do you think that Katie Bishop is so successful right now as a character? Well, there's one thing that comes to mind. World building. They built a world around this character in 2 episodes. More than they've done a lot of these other characters that ever introduced.
Yes. Even
100%. Clint doesn't have world building like Katie Bishop. We're getting it now.
It took it to us Infinity Wars and Endgame to get it with him, right?
Like, oh, you have a family you care about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're human? Oh, so it's just those things.
Yeah, no,
we didn't know who the hell he was. People are like, man, this dude is just really good with a bow. No, he's a deadly fucking guy.
And
he's an agent.
Yeah. And like the world building with her, her family, and how the wealthy are very interesting with the underground now. And how that's leading
with the black market trades.
Yeah, how it's leading up to the Tracksuit gang, as you said. Like it's the way, like you said, I absolutely love it. The world building that they've done with this has been amazing. I'll talk about it later 3, but that first episode was amazing.
It was great.
Amazing.
And at first I didn't appreciate it. And then I sat down and I said, you know what, Frank? You've been asking for them to not introduce characters in the fast lane so long. You finally got it. Why are you complaining? And I was just like, oh yeah. Because Hawkeye is not a small character, but the MCU made him a sidekick for so long.
Yeah.
They always put emphasis on Black Widow. She was in so many movies. And then we finally get Clint and I'm like, okay, Clint was just introduced like he was always there, but he wasn't. Like, and they treated him like he already had a story, but we never got it from him. Now we're finally, oh my God, anyway, I can go on. The last episode was just that was, we always say everything comes in 3s. They did it right. I really, the more and more I think about the way they shot this series, the more I'm loving it. Because in talking about it makes me appreciate even more. So anyway, let's go episode 1. We're going to Scott Bell.
Yeah.
Episode 1, it was interesting. There's a lot of black market trading going on. The Avengers Tower has been sold. A lot of pieces has been thrown out. That goes back to Spider-Man.
Yep.
That goes back to Spider-Man Homecoming. When Happy was just kind of throwing boxes around and randomly throwing shit in boxes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I told you guys, this is what MCU does. They put something here that's like, you kind of look at it the side of your eye and then they're like, oh, you remember when Happy was just throwing boxes around, talking to Peter Parker, throwing shit in boxes? And somebody was like, where do you want this? And he's like, I'll just put it over there. Shit ended up on the black market. The underground sells, the rich and the wealthy auction it off like they do paintings with no relevance. Man. We meet her father, who is somebody in the MCU. I'll let you figure it out on your own. He gets out and we don't really know what happens to him. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't
assume,
know.
But we don't know.
We assume that he dies. My mother is there, been a widow for a while, and end up finding somebody named Jack. And Jack is sword master from the comic books. Yep. Why he collects swords. And Katie Bishop is kind of like, I don't know, something ain't right about your ass, man. There's some things that happen. I'm not going to spoil the whole episode. There's some things that happen that leads to her to believe that he's not a good person.
Yeah.
And she's trying to prove that. But that's like this big. The bigger story is that she found the Ronin suit. And like I said, I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
And it's being tied to Ronin, which everybody was so upset with MCU that they introduced Ronin the way they did and just forgot to talk about him. Because Ronin is not small by any means in the MCU. People like Ronin more than Hawkeye. All right. And the thing is that Ronin is such a dark character. It takes Clint back to his old days when he used to run with Widow, where they were pretty much assassins. So there's this whole world being opened up, and it just leads to a lot of questions. Episode 2, again, the suit is a factor. It's starting to become a little overdone. And then they show you why.
Yes.
You know, why that suit is relevant. And then we lead to episode 3, where we get the meaning of why people hate Ronin so much and who it's really leading up to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I
awesome
mean,
shit.
you know, there's still in that first episode a lot of questions, right? So how did these people get these things to get auctioned off, right? Obviously, I don't remember I guess it was episode 2 or 3 when he talks about it. Who was owning the Stark Tower, Avengers Tower? I have my theory.
It was New York, some random like government FBI thing, but that they took a lot of the wreckage from the invasion, which goes back to, again, Spider-Man.
Like, the reason why I'm saying this, what's going on with that watch? We haven't gotten back to it yet. So there's things going there. You talk about the black market. You got the Ronin suit. You got the sword, which leads into the end of episode 3 with Swordmaster. And then you have obviously the suit itself, which really sets our story off between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. So I'm trying to figure out what else is there.
Oh, and Buddy. Hey, Buddy. Buddy's in there.
Oh, yeah, Buddy. The dog.
The
dog is so cute. It's amazing.
Has his own comics, by the way.
Yeah. And, you know, the interesting thing is Bishop Technologies, that's got to be some illegal stuff that they're doing, right? Like,
100%.
Do
you guys want to know
everything that they're doing? Like, that's some illegal stuff.
Do you guys want to know the origin of Katie Bishop? This is comic book related. I don't know if they put it in MCU. I mean,
if they bring something into
clear as day.
If they bring something into the MCU, Swordmaster, for those of you who don't know, in the comic books, taught Hawkeye, and I don't know if they're leading into that. So they're bringing things, but they're not bringing things, because the reason is in episode she never said his full name to Clint.
Nope.
She was only calling him Jack. So when he's walking around episode 3 looking at the house, there's a lot of swords here. Like he even said,
it's 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Kate Bishop.
Katie Bishop's parents are Hydra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The dad and the mom that is still here, at least as of right now.
Who plays stupid, who is not stupid. So
and she's
it's going to be interesting.
She's a baddie.
It's going to be interesting. So I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with that. That's why I'm loving Hawk. I'm like, oh my god, they're introducing these things so well. And the third episode is just so heartwarming. They start off the episode with a different character. I won't go into any detail. And it almost feels like it's not about Hawkeye. And then once they established that, they had a little cameo in there. I only saw a hand, but I heard that voice of somebody who is of big status in New York.
So at the end of episode 2, we get introduced to a character named Echo. Awesome character in the show. She's actually getting her own series on Disney Plus over the next year or 2. She's badass, and you learn about her at the beginning of episode 3.
Yeah.
And the big thing that Frank Technique is talking about is you get to see where the tracksuit gang comes from, and potentially who is overseeing them in a larger capacity, because when her father walks away and says your uncle is going to do something with you or pick you up or something like that, you see this man hand in a suit come in and goes, huh, 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 huh. And it very much sounds like
that voice is it can't be anybody else.
It can't be anyone else. That
voice is so distinct.
Yeah, then Kingpin, the actor.
Yeah, we'll just say Kingpin at the end. We're just gonna say it.
Yeah, whoever the actor is, I can't think of his name right now.
This makes too much sense. Like, we already know. It's him. There's not many people that people cower to.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
When they talk about somebody up there, and they always refer to him as that. This is exactly how they refer to him in the comics. This is perfect timing because we're getting Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Murdock.
Yeah, there's rumors that Charlie Cox, also Matt Murdock, is going to be part of No Way Home. Like, they're really tying this all together, and I would love to see what Marvel's going to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned Hell's Kitchen in one of the Spider-Mans. Was it No Way Home?
Far From
So
Home.
Far From Home. Excuse me. Yeah, there's a lot of. I just love it. I love and I'm safe because Marvel ties in so many little tiny things that you just ignore and you're just like, oh shit, okay. But they're doing such a good job. The thing that I want to point out is that Marvel's having fun. Like Marvel, Sony, everybody a part of these projects are just having absolute fun. Because they're past the trial phase. People are gonna watch a film even if they don't think it's good. Eternals was one of them.
Yeah.
Everyone thought Eternals was going to be absolute dog crap, just outside the box, but that movie is making money. So, we're in a good spot right now. And you know what? MCU can afford to have some slip ups because I've learned that their slip ups get covered up pretty damn good.
Yeah, they do.
The things that they make a mistake on, they tend to answer it later on, and it's been acceptable, and we know that's the MCU way. So, really, really excited about that. I didn't want to go into
Portland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say one thing because you talk about comic books, how we were talking about the rings earlier, and the you got to talk about the we already talked about the origin. You talked about the origin of
Cynthia. I was thinking
Kate
the same
Bishop,
thing.
Kate
I think
Bishop.
it's the suit, Stark suit.
Wait, what am I missing?
He said I think the watch is Stark tech, and I was like, I think so.
So
that's the only watch we were introduced to.
Yeah, I looked it up really quick. So it's lot 268. That was for the black market deal, and it says Avengers Compound. And it's something you can't read number. So it's from the Avengers Compound. It looks a little bit old, so maybe it's Tony's father's watch or it's Tony's watch. But there's something tech-wise in there that's going to be very
it's either a chip inside or it's the suit. Because he had a suit that actually worked from the watch.
Ooh, interesting.
So, maybe they're trying to steal the tech for that.
But
Sinister Six.
They do things for a reason, right? And and they said
they wouldn't.
So I don't know who the Avengers Tower. Like, Tony sold they sold the Avengers Tower. I don't know who owns it. Who owns Avengers Tower in the comic books? And we're getting a movie from in a couple of years. No, in one of them, the Baxter Building, and who works in the Baxter Building?
Yeah. Fantastic Four.
I mean, I feel that's this. It's all, and John Watts is going to be the director of Fantastic Four. Like, I just feel like that's coming there. But Hawkeye, getting back to Hawkeye, Haley Steinfeld is amazing. She kills in action. She owns this character.
Her personal touches that she adds to movies, like her moments.
When Clint answers the phone thinking it's his wife.
Oh my god, that murdered me, dude.
Dude.
Me and Winter were like,
oh man.
Yeah, we were into that
chemistry. That's the power. I'm so happy that they're giving it to him. I never saw
Jeremy Renner hit something like that before.
Amazing.
That much emotion.
Yep.
He didn't even have that emotion with the Widow.
No.
I was
at
just
the end,
like,
no.
We got to have this done by Christmas,
Yeah, he stepped this up, man. Like, that was...
it was so good. Yeah, the relationship between them is great. The car scene was a phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
Phenomenal. Like, her going through the arrows, she's like, what the hell is this? What does this do? Oh, shit. Like,
there's there's 4 more dangerous arrows than that one. That was awesome.
You think you can label these?
Yeah.
Like, such good. God, that writing was good.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was writing or if it was ad-lib. Whatever it was, man, the relationship between those two were so damn good. That chemistry was so great.
You're
and
trying
then the subway scene where they were sitting down and she was saying something, he repeated, she's like, it's like what makes separates a great actor from a good actor is like this stuff that you do in between without lines. So the fact that she was like, like that kid girl feel, like, I'm right. Without saying it.
I wonder
because he was repeating what she was saying.
I wonder, because of their chemistry, how much of this may be them going off the books.
Oh, I 100% think it's actor intuition between those two.
Because that scene in the subway,
certain things you
can script that, but I feel like they ad-libbed. It's ad-libbed, right? Is that the word?
Yeah, ad-lib.
Yeah, they had to ad-lib something like that because that was just too perfect. That was so good.
At least the reactions were definitely unscripted.
Yes.
Because the back and forth, a script, guys, is the ugliest thing you've ever seen. It's literally it's not even really organized well. It's just blocks of text and saying like you could do this, but whatever. And the eye contact, the little things that they do. It's so good, and people are falling in love with. You have you can't help but fall in love with Hawkeye and Katie Bishop. You just can't not do it now. Very interesting. I'm going to bring this up because I remember I talked about this when Hawkeye was just not a rumor, but like just a title. He was teaching his daughter the way of the bow. 100%. And his daughter is Hawkeye.
In the comics.
100%. Both girls are Hawkeye. But his daughter takes the mantle as Hawkeye as well. Leela. Yep. She 100%. So the Hawkeye that you see with the black hair and the sunglasses and the purple, with the sleeveless purple, that's his daughter. Katie Bishop typically always wears a ponytail. That's Katie Bishop. And Katie Bishop stops going by Hawkeye and goes by Katie Bishop.
Katie Bishop. Because of the fan. Okay.
So it's interesting. Very
That's
interesting.
It's going to be interesting where
they
go with that. Yeah.
Yep. I'm like,
yes,
was it just a father-daughter moment with the bow to lead up to Katie Bishop being a better archer and she taking a mantle? His daughter getting jealous and they get into some shit later? Is it kind of that? Or is it really bringing in two Hawkeyes?
You missed Christmas because you were teaching this other girl how to do archery when you're teaching.
Remember the beginning, that little tension between him and his daughter?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, they can go that route.
The tension, and then when they're going into the car, it's like, no, you're really in charge here. Like, you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you brought that up. Yep. Yeah. Huh.
So.
God, I love Marvel.
Yeah, I
love DC, but Marvel is so amazing.
They're doing so, like, man, Kevin Feige and his team, everybody there, they're so talented. And then you could tell they do their research and they're like, this would be great for a movie, but what if we did this? You know, and it's just like really nice. I would love to just sit in those offices one day and just hear them like chat. Good time to be. All right, some other news. X-Men 97 is coming back, guys. X-Men is coming back. That's coming back. And are they continuing the episodes? Are they playing it? So that's what I want to know. My thoughts is I didn't read on it because I didn't want to get excited. I think they're continuing from what I've heard.
You want to know?
Do
you want to know?
Yeah, go for it.
So they announced it, and this was part of the announcement. So they're bringing back X-Men 97, and it's going to be a continuation of the series from the 90s that we grew up on. It's going to be bringing back original actors and actresses, but also bringing in new ones as well to continue the story. So
some people didn't live.
So if you want to, you can go back on Disney Plus right now and watch the original series. So when it comes back next year or in 2023,
it's one of the best things that ever touched TV. Like I'm not even, and it aged very well, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go back and watch it. I just hope the resolution is
the way they announced it with the Wolverine meme. It's perfect. Like they're having fun. You said, they did the Wolverine meme with the picture that says X-Men 97.
What fan did that? Because they gotta be sitting there like that's fine.
That was Marvel. Oh, what fan did that? Yeah. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, some fan originally made that. I actually remember that scene, and it's Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Yep.
It's so hilarious. Anyway. So I'm really excited about that, and I think I might take Winter down that road of X-Men when I was going to say X-Men Windows 97.
Wait,
X-Men 97. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about.
You pulling on me, man.
That's great. In other news, new Marvel MMO made by City of Hero devs. I have two feelings. My first feeling was. And then immediately went down in the dumps.
Because we talked about an MMO the prior week. Like, we want to get an X-Men MMO. I'm sorry, Marvel MMO. Go ahead.
Yeah, I literally said, I brought it. I felt like I manifested it. But
seriously,
the City of Hero devs, what does that mean? Who's backing this? What company is giving them money? Because they couldn't even hold up their own game. It was Cryptic. Don't give it to Cryptic. Just don't. So we need to know where the City of Hero devs doesn't necessarily mean it's the studio. It's just the people that worked on the game and have knowledge of how to make City of Heroes. We need somebody with some money. I'd rather them Kickstarter this shit, to be honest. But we need somebody with some money that can house them to do the work. Because right now, MMOs, news hits way too fast. Studios stand it up and then they drop it off, and the IP will just sit there forever.
So to your point. It is being created by Dimension Inc. Games. They are the creators of DC Universe Online. No, wait, actually, let me rephrase that. An unannounced MMORPG based on Marvel IP is in the works at Dimension Inc. The studio is behind DC Universe Online and subsidiary of Daybreak Game Studios. The game's development will be led by Jack Emmett, who designed City of Heroes and who currently leads development on the DCUO. The project is long-term, so don't expect to hear more until 2023. So that answers your question with Series of Heroes and DC Universe Online. So
again, we need somebody with money.
yeah.
Daybreak is, yeah, I'm not going to go in. I'm not trying to break no relationships up, but man, anyway, I'm not excited.
Well, I hope that these people, because I enjoyed Cities of Heroes. It was one of the,
but City of Heroes weren't Daybreak.
I know.
You know?
I know. And DC Universe Online, say what you will, it is a decent game, but hopefully from both of those pieces.
No, DC Universe Online was great back then.
Yeah,
it
not
didn't
now.
Age well. See, here's my problem.
So hopefully they take that and they make it something good.
Well, they're supposed to be redoing in DC Universe. So what the? How are they going to do both? Are they going to use the money from DC Universe?
A hell of a lot of people.
Are they really going to remake? Like, I don't know. I'm just going to let that sit in the air. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's great, and then moving on. You know, because I don't want to get my hopes up for something that's just going to just fall apart. Then there was news of a Marvel and DC cross-up MMO. Don't know what that is. That was just thrown out there. Maybe it's somebody getting the information wrong and it flooded the media, social media. I don't know. But there was supposed to be a DC and Marvel cross-up like MMO. I don't know how and what shape format that's gonna take on. Hopefully that's a rumor. I don't think those two worlds need to mix unless it's a fighting game.
Which is interesting. I mean, maybe they're putting it together because of who's producing this MMO.
Maybe that. Maybe just people got outlet wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
I believe that one to be a rumor more than I know. The Marvel one is definitely out there, but Warner Brothers is making a platform fighter, and when we talk about platform fighter, we're talking about like Smash Brothers. Ever since Sakurai put down the mantle and moved on to have a long awaited vacation after releasing over 80, 90 some odd characters in Smash Brothers Ultimate, an exuberant amount of characters, like too many damn characters. The day he announced Sora and everything got released from Kingdom Hearts, everybody started coming out the woodworks with platform fighters. Nickelodeon came out with one. Warner Brothers has ones coming out. Tencent has ones coming out. Heroes, what is that? It's a Chinese market one that has a platform fighter that's coming out as well called World of Heroes something. It's not World, not World of Heroes. It's called Honors of King. Not World, but Honors of King something else. Anyways, a big series they have coming out for that. But Warner Brothers platform fighter is called Multiverse. And this is very promising because it's being made by people who are old school, like Melee Smash Brothers players and tournament like people, like really old. And the reason why that's really glorious and not just giving it to somebody like Nintendo or something like that is because these people are very passionate about platform fighters and they want to see it go somewhere, and they're focusing on the biggest thing that's killing FGC to this day, netcode. Everybody wants to be able to practice and fight over online. It's not easy to get in person and run these events because they're normally ran unfunded. You know, they're funded by the people that are in love with the game, which means you get them in mostly hotels and like conference rooms and in buildings where the internet's not that great. So they do everything in person. This looks very promising. If you haven't listened to the video, check it out. You can find it pretty much everywhere. Multiverse has a slew of characters from Batman to Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, and it got Bugs Bunny in it and all kinds of weird stuff. So I'm really excited for it. You can sign up now for closed beta. And I don't know when they're going to come out with it, but they said they'll let you know through email, but you can all sign up for it today.
Yeah.
It looks really promising. Looks good. I don't know if you've seen the video, Matt, but
when it came out, I saw a bunch of people tweeting about it. I'm like, what is this? I clicked on it and I saw it. I was like, oh my God, this is really cool looking. And having them bring in characters that are not just a DC fighter, because then it's like, oh, it's Why isn't NetherRealm doing this and calling it, you know, Injustice, right? Like it is a platform fighter, like you said, and it's bringing in characters from the overall Warner Brothers universe, hence Arya Stark,
like Mortal Kombat, Bugs Bunny, like, you know, silly characters like that, the Flash, Batman, pretty much any DC character. Wonder Woman is in there. It looks really good.
As of right now, I was trying to look this up. It was Arya Stark, Batman, Bugs Bunny, Finn the Human from Adventure Time, Garnet, Harley Quinn, Jake the Dog, Bacon Pancakes, Rain Dog, which I don't know what that's from. I think it's part of this story. I could be wrong. Chat, let me know. Shaggy, Steve the Universe, Superman, Harley, Tom and Jerry, and Wonder Woman, with more reveals to come. It is coming out next year. And it's touted as in Multiverse. The Multiverse is your fingertips as you battle out intense 2v2 matchups. So it's 2v2. Co-op or head-to-head fighters in Supremacy. There's multiple maps. They showed off cool different maps from the Batcave to Adventure Time to Steve
Universe. A streamer?
Steve the Universe is on, I thought it was on Cartoon Network.
Wasn't he a streamer that got, like, didn't it start off as a streamer project or something like that?
I actually have no idea.
I want to say that Steve the Universe was like either YouTube or
what is
that
it
may
from?
have just gotten bought. I could be wrong. I remember like years ago somebody posting that character and they're like, I updated my brand and this and that. I don't know. I could be wrong.
But yeah, when I saw this come out, I was watching the trailer. I like how there's different perks and trees you can unlock. There's cool different cosmetics and modes. You can do single player if you want to. Obviously, they're really working on netcode. Which is fantastic to hear. It's from Player First Games, which I remember looking them up. Player First Games, and I was like, oh, they did that stuff before. They
have a nice studio. It wasn't some like shot in a basement somewhere. Like it looked like they got some funding. Like it looks like Warner Brothers is like funding this thing. So I'm like, hey,
yeah. I mean, you're talking about the CEO and co-founder who was on the God of War, League of Legends projects and games. Debts of Disney Interactive, worked on Disney Infinity. I mean, Team Tactic Fighter, Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, you're God of War Ascension. I mean, you're talking about people that played on massively good and massively successful games. So the people that are creating this know what they're doing. And they're hiring a boatload of people. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, dude. This is not some small feat that they're just trying to like fill a market. I think people know that this market is open now that Smash Brothers is pretty much done. And the funny thing is what makes this set aside from, other platform fighters besides the netcode and all the stuff they're working on, you can customize your characters and give them different perks and builds. And that's huge because a lot of platform fighters, you come with a set, a list of things that you can do, and that's it. But the fact that you can unlock perks and stuff like that, and like actually have a progression in the game, that really opens my eyes. And I'm just like, oh, they want to take this. The only other way platform fighter I think that can really go beyond the hype of this right now is if a Shonen Jump one came out. All the anime characters.
Kind of like that's what Jump Force should have been.
Yeah, it should.
Jump Force, I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then
it should have been a platform.
If that was a platform for just get every single anime character out there doing things like, I mean, that would be
platform fighters are just easier,
so
man.
much fun.
Anyway, whatever. I'm not saying easier, but like easier to introduce to the crowd.
To the crowds.
So yeah.
But no,
sad.
We have a.
Oh my God, we're almost at time. Holy crap!
Yeah, this was a fast show, but a good show, man. We caught up on a lot of stuff this week because last episode because it wasn't Thanksgiving. Last episode, like I said, we had a great interview with Will and Charles Soule. Talk about their own project, talk about Star Wars, talking about Marvel. It was a great interview and carry conversation. Obviously, last week we were passed out from having too much turkey, and now we're here today. And
fanboying.
And actually, you know what? One of the last topics I know you got something, but next week we have the Game Awards on Thursday. So, do you have any thoughts on maybe something comic book or superhero related that we maybe you would like to see maybe? Because I don't. Yeah, I know.
We have Midnight Suns is probably going to be mentioned again, maybe.
Okay. That just got pushed.
Yeah. Spider-Man. I would love Wolverine news. I think Insomniac could really own Game Awards. Talking more about Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And Wolverine. Even if they gave us a bit of it, I think people would just lose their minds. I don't think DC's showing up with anything.
See, that's I'm
they can't even show up to their own thing with something.
Yeah, they didn't even. They just talked about and showed really nothing for Gotham Knights. If we're gonna get gameplay, I would love to see gameplay at the Game Awards. I know Jeff Keighley loves Rocksteady, so maybe something with them is too. But I would love to see, because I think it's coming out sooner, Gotham Knights. It's not superhero, but it is related. We haven't heard anything about Hogwarts Legacy for a while. I would love to see that. I know it got pushed to next year. I would love to see something about that, but
I just hate that it's tied to that evil winch. But anyway.
Oh yeah, JK, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, God of War hat, I would love to see. I mean, that's not comic book. I mean, technically it is, because he does have a comic book. I feel like
we've already seen it so much recently, so I'm kind of like thinking outside. I mean, that was PlayStation. That was over the summer, right? That was the same day we got Spider-Man.
They talked about it, and they showed a little bit. I
thought they showed a lot.
See, you want to keep hanging the carrot in front of the people's faces. You just want to keep doing it, especially with a name like that. Like that just helps. I will say this: there are a lot of announcements. We just talked to Jeff last week. There's a lot of announcements. He said, even to this point, right now, as we're talking, he's still getting emails.
That makes sense.
And still pushing people to get booked and stuff, because people love the fact that this is in person. They're inviting more creators to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is becoming MTV Movie Awards at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And so is Esports Awards. Esports Awards was a huge call out to that. And Jeff always has his hand in somebody's basket, man. Like, this dude is everywhere. He will own E3 at the end of the day. I think E3 is going to probably go away, and it's going to just be Game Awards all over again. He's going to have to change the name to something,
Well, Summer Game Fest. Also, it's going to be Summer Game Fest. Like, Summer Game Fest is going to have its own stage.
Oh, Summer
it's
Game
going to be its whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I think it's going to be.
Covered E3. I think Summer Game Fest in general. I think Jeff knows what he's doing. He's been in the game for so long, dude. So long. This guy, he's incredible. He's a lover of games, and the only thing that I will have to say that I'm kind of like, I don't know if that was a good move, Jeff, is the Activision thing. And I'll just leave it as that.
I know. I
think that was a bad move, because you're representing so many brands that you're not wearing them, but you're when you're way up here, you got to make you have to say something. It can't just be like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and all we doing is concentrating on releases. No. You got to you have to address it. You can address it smartly, but you need to address it to show people that you're not being like blindfolded to the issues.
Yeah, I mean, he had his statement, and I agree. We'll leave it as that.
Yeah, we'll leave it as that. And, it's not, I still think he's incredible. I think what he's doing for the gaming industry is awesome. Like, I really am in this corner for that. I just think, when it comes to, there's PR for a reason. I'll just put it like that. Announcements wise, I think we're going to get blown away. There's a lot of games coming out next year. A lot. And this year was actually dry. And we didn't feel like it was. And the reason why we feel like it was dry, because announced games releasing wasn't a lot, but the secret punches were a lot. There's a lot of sleeper hits, and there's going to be even more next year. Kickstarter is going mad with they have games that are promised for next year coming out, and I'll cross my fingers that those happen. Especially in MMOs are big next year, by the way. And I'm not just talking about Western market wise. I'm definitely in the East. So I'm looking forward to that. Riot. There's gonna be there's gotta be a big announcement for Riot.
Well, I mean, they just had their fighter that they announced. Maybe we'll see some more.
I think we're gonna see something from that.
information on that. I would like to see, just because they did something recently and announced that Titanfall 1 is going off online. I mean, I'll always go back to it. I would love to see Respawn do something with Titanfall. Though, you know what? We're getting to the point where we should be hearing something about the next Jedi Fallen Order, the sequel. We're kind of getting to that point where we may start hearing something. But who knows? Who knows?
I just, I feel like they need to. I'm not 100% on what they did with the IP. I thought they could do better. Like anyway. I hope they learn. I hope they learn. Like growing pains is a thing for sure, and I think everybody goes through that, even studios. I think if they do hold the license still to do Jedi Fallen Order 2, I think they did mention a sequel.
No, they did. I think they were signed up, specifically them, not EA, them. They were signed up for at least a trilogy.
I think they did it.
Yeah.
I really hope they learn a lot from their mistakes with Jedi Fallen Order. Because that game fell off really fast.
Yeah, it did.
But anyway, it's a gorgeous game though. No doubt about it. I hope we hear something from Massive. I doubt we will. I want to know what they're doing with Star Wars.
It's been a while. It's been well over a year, almost 2 years now.
Just throw that news out there and be like, by the way, we're not talking about it ever again. I think you're right. I think we're going to see something from Riot Fighter wise, because they said that they're not going to be secretive anymore.
Yeah.
That they're out there done with that. What other big studio? Naughty Dog. I think it's time for Naughty Dog to talk about something.
Whatever their next project is. Things in the
works. So, even if it's about the TV series on HBO Max.
I mean, that's a perfect segue, right? For them there, if they win something for the Last of Us Part 2, or even because they're nominated, I think, for a couple of things, whether they win or don't win, it'd be cool to see like a teaser trailer. I know it's not video game, but it's a video game related show, and see a little bit of Last of Us. I think it would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. I'd have to do some research.
I like being surprised from now on, because I don't want to set myself up like I did for DC.
Yeah, no, they've been really good though. The past couple of years there hasn't been. You're probably going to see something from Kojima, because they're like
this, bro.
You're going to see something. Yeah.
Jeff is a Kojima fan. Let me tell you. I mean, we all are at the end of the day, and it's going to be horror related, obviously, horror thriller. God, there was something I was going to say. Oh, this show is going to be huge. There's a lot of celebrities coming to the show.
Nice.
We have Sting announced.
You got Imagine Dragons performing with someone else.
Imagine
I
Dragons. Forget. It might be Sting. I know Sting is definitely gonna be there performing Arcane song that he did for the end of Arcane.
How do I restream
Imagine Dragons probably gonna do their Arcane song as well.
That's how, because it's not copyright.
Keanu Reeves is gonna be there. Kate something, I forgot her name. Gestapo, or whatever his name is, the dude from Far Cry 6 is gonna be there.
Oh, okay.
They're announcing them slowly, but the announcements haven't even really started. For the hardcore announcements, is gonna probably be on Tuesday. Because I have to make an announcement on Monday.
Nice. Smile.
Game Awards. It's called The Game Awards, right?
Yeah, you got Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy's up for a couple of things too. Fortnite, of course, we're probably going to hear some stuff about. Kenya was a fantastic game.
Carrie Ann Moss is her name. She's going to be there.
Wait, Carrie,
Laura Bailey is going to be there. Who's Laura Bailey
Moss.
Again. Last of Us. Fucking everything. She's in everything.
Oh, they're going to do something Matrix-wise. If Carrie Ann Moss is there and Keanu Reeves is there, that's Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Laura Bailey, Ashley Johnson.
That's Last of Us. That's literally Last of Us. Yeah.
Ming-Na Wen.
Best RPG, Cyberpunk. Is that really? Anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot. This show is huge. This is the biggest show that they've had, and it's mostly because they're back in the theater. It's not remote anymore. I mean, Reggie's gonna be there, of course. But they're starting to get Simu Liu is gonna be there. He's gonna be a presenter as well.
Oh, cool.
So we get some Shang-Chi.
Most anticipated game: Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel of The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Starfield. I mean, at that point, if we don't see something from them, 5, I feel like, and I'm cool if we just get some more information on them 5. I'd be down for that personally.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I really like where Jeff is taking Like,
Game of the year. Wait.
this is really interesting because he has Amazon behind him now, and it started off as a passion project.
The Last of Us came out last year?
No.
Last of Us 2 came out in 2020? I feel like
yeah, actually it probably did.
Oh my god, it was last summer. I feel like it was.
It did.
Dude,
It did because I remember the stress I had with that game because I was just like, I wanted to end. It was great, but God, I would never play through that game again. That game was too stressful. My heart was just anyway. It wasn't because I was just like emotional. It was just too much shit going on. Ah, God, that game. It was a great game though. Definitely should just be a movie. I'm sick of it. But anyway, yeah, it looks like we're coming up on time, everybody. This month we didn't get to do it today, but this month we'll before I travel, because I won't be able to do this. I mean, the week of Christmas we're taking off, obviously. We were going to do a recap show. We're going to be talking about where we are and you know where the show is, and you know if you guys get a season 2 or not, so to speak. I think this is something like a talk we need to have with everybody, just to show where we are and where we're going, where we want to be, so to speak. And yeah, it gets you guys' comments. It's very important what you think about the show. So please, as homework for all those that are listening, please write down some things you like about the show, some things that you would like to see. We've done a lot with the show. I mean, we've done more than I even expected with the show. This show is not even a year old yet, I don't think. So no, it's not.
May. May would be a year.
Yeah, so 27 episodes, and I feel like we kicked ass, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
So many great interviews, and like, man, it's emotional because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I gave up on comics because I felt like nobody was in my corner about it. And thinking this rare drop, and you came along, and we've done some things, and now I finally feel like we are where we want it to be starting out. Yeah. It's just like we're getting help, and Paul is doing a wonderful job, and and Kevin and them respect us and let us do our own thing. Like, this is great. It's been freaking great. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I when I reached out to them at the beginning, I had an idea, and obviously they introduced us together for this. This was, something you've been working on for a while. And I love that. I never thought about it that way, but I love the discussion that we have that even goes above comics, or it's comics, but it's bringing in the real world stuff. I'm happy to have those discussions with you, and I'm happy that our audience also looks into it, because I'm also trying to get as much information as possible too. And I know that was a piece for you. We just didn't want to be the quote unquote two nerds just geeking out about stuff. We wanted to talk about certain topics as well. And I absolutely love it. And, kicking off GCX this past year, who knows what the future is, as far as next year too. I know we had that conversation, like the people that we have talked to, whether it's Scott or Will or Charles recently, and obviously Steven and Declan, Jason, like I'm excited. So I think we're here definitely the next 2 weeks, right? The 11th and the 18th, but then Christmas Day and New Year's Day, we will be off leading into, January 8th. But, we got a lot of more fun discussions coming up, whether it's Hawkeye, Spiderman, and Game Awards, and anything and everything in between. We got a lot more to talk about. And once again, man, I know I've said it before, thank you. And it's, it's been a pleasure. And, don't drive me off a cliff in Halo again.
I
gotta be a team player. Apparently,
you don't want to talk about Halo, because do I have to show the clip of you ignoring the whole team to try to get kills? Do I have to bring that shit? Is this the end of the episode? Because I will show this clip.
I was protecting the flag. I know, bro.
Bro, there was no flag protection. Our flag man died because you were too big. Anywho, we out, guys. Have a beautiful day today. That's it of episode 27. And those that are listening on the podcast, we appreciate you, and thank you so very much for being here as well. And we will see you for episode 28 next week, same time, same place, here on Commix. Sweet dreams, everything in between. Be safe out there, wear your mask, and eat some great food, because that's what I'm going to be doing. So take it easy, guys. Same. That's it for me, Technique. You can find me on social medias and stuff. You know what's up. And Matt, if you want to say some goodbyes.
Nighthawk plays everywhere. Have a great weekend. Have a great Game Awards, and we'll see you next week to talk about some other fun, amazing, cool stuff. And also get food at the same time. Bye.
Peace.